A ver, señores, una tienda de la que he escuchado hablar muchísimo, los he visto en otros festivales, he visto sus stands, sus locales, es precisamente Apollon, aquí en Bergen, Noruega. Una tienda con un concepto que incluye la parte de bar y que increíblemente vamos llegando, abren a las 10 y ya hay gente ahí comprando discos, ya hay gente consumiendo un poco de bebidas refrescantes también. Entonces vamos a mostrarles la tienda por dentro y después vamos con la entrevista, claro. Si bien la tienda es variada, vamos a ver cuán relacionadas están con el festival y con otros festivales, los miembros. Y bueno, tiene pues hay mucho que ver por ahí dentro relacionado con el metal. Si bien la sección de metal no es la más grande, sí que es una sección importante. Primero aquí, inmediatamente entrando, vamos a ver algo de material relacionado con el festival, de las bandas que van a estar tocando. Obviamente, por si no lo saben, no va a estar tocando Bathory, ¿verdad? Pero pues sabemos que va a estar el tributo. Aquí más. Y claro, te mencionan que va a haber mucho más material relacionado a las bandas estando dentro del festival. Miren, chéquense esos de Aura Noir. Ay, me están haciendo ojitos, pero ya seleccioné lo que me quiero llevar. Es más que nada viniles, no hay tanto de otros géneros. Es importante resaltar que aquí hubo un par de eventos relacionados al festival, como unas prefiestas donde se estrenó precisamente este material de Cold Band. Fue una de las cosas que fueron estrenadas por acá. Y bueno, empezamos aquí ya viendo algunos asientos para sentarte a tomar algo. Ahí está el flyer del Hellbottom, que es otro festival que se realiza en agosto en la ciudad de Oslo. Aquí promocionando el Billón de Ing, que ya habrán visto en el video relacionado al festival, claro. En la parte de abajo tenemos algo de material en oferta. No quiero interrumpir a la gente, pero voy a tener que atravesarme para mostrarles algo por aquí, que son la sección de CDs, que no, como ven, no hay mucho. Hay algunos libros también por acá. Esta edición aquí de Alcest, que también me estaba llamando la atención, pero no. Aquí en la parte de arriba podemos ver pues que hay más. Hay también CDs y sobre todo aquí está la pequeña sección de CDs de metal, que como les digo no es tan amplia, pero sí encuentras un par de cositas por ahí. Aquí ciertamente un tanto desordenado. Ya saben que acá lo que más se consume, o ya lo hemos platicado, es el formato vinilo. Por ahí chéquense eso. True Norwegian Record Store, Apollon. Ya, con eso nos damos una idea, ¿no? Por ahí los precios de la cerveza los vamos a ver por acá. Te puedes tomar tu copita de vino también. Les voy a mostrar, a ver si alcanzamos a grabarlo. Ahí está de barril la cerveza conmemorativa de 1349, que ya habíamos visto también alguna vez por ahí en Oslo, y algunas otras cervezas locales. A ver si nos tomamos una antes de retirarnos de por acá. Ayer estaba a reventar. Ayer vine para ir checando el material, ir adelantando el scouting, y hasta hoy vamos a tener la entrevista. Entonces también tienen su material promocional por ahí arriba. Entonces hay el puzzle de Raining Blood por acá. Hay un diablillo también por ahí. Entonces ayer vine y estaba a reventar, no había dónde sentarte. Te encontrabas, fue previo a que empezara a tocar Heimgard en la ciudad. Ahí tienen también para reproducir viniles. La tornamesa, y aquí hay gente de todas las edades también ya haciendo sus compras. Todas las paredes tienen algún vinilo por ahí colgado para que realices compras. La realidad es que no encontré cosas tan underground, pero lo que sí encontré fueron cosas más baratas de lo que las vamos a encontrar en México. Aquí también unas mesitas más para relajarnos. Lo único de tapes que tienen es esto de por acá. Por cierto, los baños, no quiero grabar en los baños, pero también están llenos de pósters relacionados a metal. Uno de los que nos vamos a llevar va a ser el Panopticon The Rime of Memory. Bueno, les decía que aquí vemos algunos tapes de metal. Hay varios de Primordial que también me llaman la atención, pero no sé ustedes, yo pienso que Primordial es más una banda para vinilo, quizá para CD. Ahí les quiero mostrar. Les digo, no les quiero mostrar los baños por dentro, pero también muy interesantes, muchos flyers y demás. Y estos son los eventos que les comentaba que se estuvieron realizando aquí. Yo, el del miércoles, bueno, de hecho hubiese querido venir a ambos, pero yo estaba con que eran en fin de semana, entonces pues se me fue la onda y no pude venir ni a la presentación de Coldbrand ni de 1349. Me comentan que al final la banda no pudo venir, solamente el sello, y que el sello tiene una tienda también aquí dentro, aquí en la ciudad. Entonces vamos a ver si me asomo por ahí uno de estos días. Bueno, aquí hay, me gusta cómo separan mucho siempre el material noruego de cualquier género. Pero bueno, aquí hay hip hop, aquí hay jazz, aquí hay varios estilos. Por acá tenemos, bueno, ahí hay un patiecito, pero creo que ya no se puede salir. Aquí tenemos más mercancía relacionada a la tienda. ¿Qué más? No sé por qué esta parte se promociona también con el sello o con el nombre de Beyond the Gates. Realmente no son bandas que estén tocando en Beyond the Gates. Está Eternus, Gorgoroth. Ese de Gorgoroth, pues bueno, Gal siempre anda paseando por Beyond the Gates, pero no, ese material no es de Gal. Entonces chéquense este mural. No es un mural, más bien es una memorabilia. Aquí tenemos una sección de Stoner, Doom, Drone y Sludge. Estuvimos dándole una revisada, pero es demasiada densidad para nuestros oídos lo que alcanzamos a ver, o simplemente no son cosas tan de mi estilo. Aquí, a ver qué más tenemos por acá. Estamos tratando de no estorbar a la gente. Hay más lugares donde sentarse. Esta playera se me hizo interesante, como nuestras camisas de cuando vas de paseo a alguna ciudad nueva y llevas eso de recuerdo. Pero aquí dice: I went to see Enslaved at Apollon and all I got was this lead sledge t-shirt. O sea, básicamente no viste a Enslaved aquí y lo único que pudiste ver fueron esas camisas. Y bueno, finalmente no quería estar estorbando a la gente, por eso no lo grabé antes, pero aquí la sección de metal es amplia en viniles. Sí, me encanta esta forma en que dividen por nombre de banda las más relevantes, y después, pues si son bandas que no tienen su propia sección, pues ya las delimitan ahí con la letra, pero todo en orden alfabético. Ahí ya vimos un poco de The Haunted, Heilung, que seguimos encontrando a Heilung en las secciones de metal, a pesar de que no es metal. Aún ando indeciso si llevarme lo nuevo de My Dying Bride o lo viejo de My Dying Bride. Otra cosa interesante, bueno, aquí seguimos viendo promocionales de Beyond the Gates. Otra cosa interesante es esto, Norks Metal o metal noruego, y todo esto, todas estas dos secciones son solamente de metal noruego. Claro, más que nada black metal, pero no limitado a ello. Simplemente pues es de lo que más hay, pero no quiere decir que lo sea, que sea solamente metal noruego. Por ahí dice también que en CDs hay más, tenían más en la tienda, perdón, en el stand del festival, y sí, efectivamente vi que tenían otros tantos CDs, pero si soy honesto no es tampoco que esté saturado allá. Es una sección muy similar a la que tienen por aquí. De hecho, de aquí no encontré nada que me fuese a llevar. Sin embargo, por aquel lado sí encontré pues el 1184 de Vindir, y eso es uno de los que nos estamos llevando. Ahora estamos solamente esperando a que llegue el gerente para poder realizar la entrevista. Y finalmente aquí una pequeña sección de 50% de descuento en material de metal que no encontré. Quizá aquí sí haya algo underground. Por ejemplo, este dice Extreme Cold Winter, Doom Death Metal. No los conozco, a pesar de que es Doom. No fue así como una sección, pues pueden ver que no es tan amplia. Ah, mira, esto no lo había visto, hay parches de espaldera. Bueno, solamente no es una sección que haya encontrado tan interesante, pero bueno, pues es una opción interesante para buscar algunos adicionales. Eso es en general la tienda Apollon en Bergen, Noruega. Muy bien, rockers, headbangers, ya estamos aquí con el señor William. Él es you're the manager, right? Of the store?
Assistant manager, yeah.
Yeah. Él es el gerente de la sucursal en la que nos encontramos el día de hoy, que es la primera. Vamos a platicar un poco de lo relacionado al festival, lo relacionado a la tienda, y pues ahí algunas anécdotas. Ya saben que nos gusta como desenvolver también esta parte de las creencias que se tenían antes de Noruega. William, thank you very much for having us here. Thank you very much for your time. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for stopping by.
And we know that you are very busy with the festival and all of that, so I appreciate it.
No
Let's
problem
begin
at all.
with the part of the festival. How is it that you began to go to festivals to sell? Since when do you do it?
Yeah, well, Apollon, it's actually Norway's oldest independent record store. So we've been around since 1976. And we've had a pretty close relationship to the Beyond the Gates people, and before that it was Hole in the Sky. So we've had stands out there for years now. So we get invited every year, and we love going, and it's great to see the community get together. And
1976.
1976,
Even
yeah.
Before black metal appeared.
Oh yeah, it was when Deep Purple was the thing. And
So I would think that the bigger exposers of black metal from Bergen used to come and buy.
Absolutely, and several of them used to work here too. Like Evod from Enslaved worked here in the 90s. The guy from Hades and Hades Almighty, he worked here as well. And so it was always kind of a cool place to hang out for them, especially in the early 90s too. Yeah, people from all the bands. This is where they'd spend their free time and extra money on the weekends, you know.
Okay, I understand now why the T-shirt says Enslaved.
Yeah. We had our 40th anniversary, and Enslaved played in our backyard. And so that was pretty cool. It was kind of announced right before, and
what an interesting.
So they went old school with that one.
And also, I think this place, this famous place called Garage that used to exist, it's
right on the corner right there. So
where is the stereo?
Yeah, we're stereo. Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's why. I mean, I suppose people used to hang between one and the other in those days.
Yep,
right?
Absolutely. So, I mean, we didn't have a bar way back then. It was just a record store. So we opened the bar about 12 years ago, roughly. And it kind of gave this place new life because it's an extra excuse to hang out. You sit a little bit longer, you have a drink, you talk about records, and So that's definitely having two legs to stand on, you know. So it's made this kind of a meeting place. And when Garage used to be open, it was we close at midnight. We go over there for catch the end of a late show or something. So it was a good relationship, and still kind of continues to be with Stereo. So yeah.
Okay, and is it common that they come here to? I mean, the bands when they are not touring, they come here.
Absolutely, and it's kind of a safe haven for them in a way because people just treat them like anybody else. You know, you come home from tour, you're tired. They come in with your kids and have a coffee in the morning. And they're just normal people that live here and very approachable and kind. And, so it's this is kind of a hub of the area where people.
How long have you been working for the store?
I worked here for almost 15 years. We're getting close to now, yeah. So
15.
Yep,
okay.
And hopefully many more.
Hope so too. So something interesting that I see here in Bergen is the amount of vinyls compared to CDs.
Yep.
Why is it? Why people do you think they prefer vinyl here than and even tapes? I just see a couple of tapes over there. Why do you think people here in Norway prefer?
I think I usually hear, a couple different reasons. There's some people that are big on the audio quality and whatnot. But speaking for myself personally, I think a lot of people, it's just the tactile format. It's a big cover. You have a different relationship to it. I think people take a big sense of pride in their collection that maybe you didn't with the CD, kind of thing. Even though CDs are kind of on the coming back, and especially in black metal, small early pressings and stuff. People really care about which one you get. But I think, I don't know, vinyl's familiar to people. It's always been there. It's a good way to introduce a younger generation to the album and have the patience to sit down, drop the needle, and you don't get this kind of music ADD where this song didn't quite work, skip to the next one. It's nope, you're just gonna take an hour, two sides, take a break in the middle.
Now that you mention it, I have heard that now that TikTok is very it's on the trend. The new generations don't even, let's not talk about listen to a whole album because people used to now. I mean, I was even from the generation that began to listen by songs.
Yeah.
And then I began to appreciate the albums. But I have heard that people now with TikTok, when they are playing at Spotify or something, they don't just listen to a piece of the song and they go to the next
little snippet. Yeah. No, it's a bit of a shame, But also, you see TikTok almost working for the vinyl resurgence as well. I mean, people like Taylor Swift are pushing vinyl records and buy my record in 10 different versions and stuff. So we get there's 13-year-olds are coming in buying their first records and they don't have a record player yet. But I'm like, hey, whatever gets you in the door and hanging out at a record shop, being familiar with.
I mean, in a turntable, you are not having the time to. I mean, it will be. I would feel like tired if I had to put always the needle in one song and repeat it. So it's a good way for them to keep going with that.
And tapes too are. Still
even
coming back. It's kind of funny, and arguably people say, black metal sounds best on cassette. It was recorded lo-fi, and that's how you do it.
If they are old, that's way better.
Yeah. So it's cheap to produce, and on the other hand, like physical format for I think a lot of consumers, it's like buying merch. It's a way to support the band, usually directly, and supporting places like this, shops where. We collect stuff from all over the world, and it's like a library you can look through and take home. So,
would you? Well, I want to focus into something I'm looking right there, which is a turntable. Do you play records?
We do. We try our best to. Sometimes on a Friday night when the bar is packed, it's a little hard. So we'll occasionally go digital, but we try to keep it analog as much as we can.
And like if someone wonders what is a band about,
Yeah.
can you play it for them so they can listen
Yeah,
to
we
it? And-
we limit it slightly because we mainly only sell new records, and so we don't want to open up everything and then
Yeah,
you're selling
I
a
guess so.
used album. So we used to have listening stands, and I do kind of want to get that back, but it might be kind of like we might have like a digital listening stand and you can check it out. But if we expand at some point and have a used section, I would love to see the listening station back.
Okay.
As long as the record's open, you can check it out.
I'm now speaking about sales. I see that you have a big section of other kinds of music.
Yeah.
The metal one it's also very interesting, but what's your core for the store? Metal or
Yeah.
metal is during this season only because of the festival?
Metal's
or-
always a constant, and I think that has to do with the subculture. I mean, metalheads purchase physical format,
Yeah.
and that's the reason why it has its whole own larger section than, let's say,
So I guess it will be bigger if metalheads wouldn't buy too much because I mean they arrive and they come and
Yep.
they buy and then
Yeah, I mean our shelves are almost empty. It's a luxury problem that we didn't order enough this year, So, and about 10 years ago, we actually used to have another store here in town that only had metal.
Okay.
And it survived 2 years. It wasn't enough people coming through every day necessarily. So that's why we have a little bit of every genre. So I would say the core is, it'd be your rock, pop, your classics. So we sell a lot of indie alternative stuff. We've always been big on supporting local artists as well. So we sell a lot of local music and pretty decent punk section, but personally, I love our metal section. That's where I hang out.
Yeah, great.
Yeah.
So speaking about your history inside music, do you play in a band? Do you work for a label? Does the store has a label or something?
Yeah. Well, our store does have a label. It originally started in the 80s and was putting out some punk, crossover, new wave, hardcore stuff. And so they put out, I think it was 5 or 6 releases in the 80s and was left dormant for decades. And then I think 10 plus years ago, they restarted the label.
Okay.
And it's mainly focusing on bands from Bergen. I'd say some of the biggest ones are like Slomosa. They're kind of like a stoner rock band. So they're a pretty big success. All kinds of genres, but mainly focusing on supporting local artists. And I personally, I played in bands a lot growing up. I was actually born in Minnesota in the U.S. and had dual citizenship, so I was there's an American
detecting
accent.
the accent, yes.
Yeah. So, and I grew up in a great metal scene over there. So I played in a death metal band and a thrash metal band, and
That's great.
But
That's
I kind of switched it out with selling music instead.
Okay, that's very great.
Yeah.
Now, let's turn on to the how can I say it, the mystic things that happened 30 years ago, because people is always wondering about that. How long have you been living then in the city?
I've been here for it's roughly 15 years. Yeah. So let's see. I moved to. So I wasn't here in the 90s. I wasn't old enough.
I know.
But you hear stories from people.
Have you heard in Latin America there was this old thought that every single teenager in the 90s and 2000s in Norway has played in a black metal band? Do you think so?
There's I think I read some article about number of black metal bands per capita in Norway.
Yeah.
pretty high. It's I can only speak for kind of more recently. We'll get we kind of coined the term here in Bergen. We call them black packers. It's backpackers that black metal tourism. The black packers come and they want to ask where are the underground shows, and so I kind of scratched my head. We do have occasionally underground shows, but when I think about the bands you can see live, I'm like, geez, they're all really big now. They're touring the world.
Yeah.
You know, we were thinking of the local black metal bands. You know, you got
Maybe
Immortal
they
and
don't
Slave,
even knew that they will be so famous. And
yeah,
so big.
yeah. I don't think they were prepared for it either, and it's really cool to see bands like that. Our shop has a real close relationship to like Enslaved. I mean, they've made a living out of it. They put out like an album a year. It's quality. It's their full-time job, and it's really cool to see. You know, some of them worked here when they were younger in their 20s and stuff, and they've managed to break the code. You know, and put out quality and really pressing themselves genre-wise. So it's cool to see. Yeah.
Every time I come to Norway, well, it's the second time I'm here, but I feel strange that I arrive and I don't see everyone dressing in black with black metal t-shirts. Because that's something that people used to say, that here everyone listens to it, but I think it's the scene kind of the same in the whole world.
Yeah, you know, you put on your suit and tie sometimes if you have to. But yeah, there's a pretty big base of metalheads. You know, anytime there's a local show going on of an up and coming band, people turn out. You know, you sell tickets, they're there. You know, hang your work uniform up and put on your battle vest and you're ready to go. You know, so that was really cool to see. Kind of funnily enough, the day I moved to Bergen. I was looking around town and there was hundreds and hundreds of people wearing Iron Maiden t-shirts and they're selling Iron Maiden merch, and I'm just like, whoa, I moved to heaven, what is going on here? And I had no idea that Iron Maiden was playing.
Yeah.
So I kind of had similar ideas when I moved here, and you know, I grew up listening to Enslaved in the States and stuff, and showed up here, and you know, Grutle was the bouncer, the door guy at Garage. You know, and so I'm just starstruck beyond belief. You know, kind of, oh, hello, I love your band. You know, and you know, 15 years later, it's like, hey, what's up? How's it going?
Yeah, it's like the first day of the festival. I was here at the Stereo and speaking with a friend from Mexico, and then I just turned and there is Gal behind you.
Yeah.
And he usually comes here, but he's right behind. What? And we both turned, and I was shocked. I mean, I have heard that it happens a lot in here, but I never lived it. So
Grutle was here last night after the show. You know, came and was just talking to
I
people.
saw him walking around, but and well, finally, do you sell here the beers and wine from the bands, like Von Graven wine?
Yeah, we Von Graven used to be our standard wine. We kind of rotate things pretty often. We got 46 beers on tap, and so we like to keep things fresh, just one keg at a time, new stuff all the time. But we have several of the, the band 1349.
1349,
so they did a collaboration with some friends of ours, and so we got some dark stuff in bottles.
Well, two more things before leaving. I want to give you a couple of albums from Mexican bands.
Sweet.
Most of them are black metal.
Right on.
If you want to take them. And well, this is Encarnalium Nosferatum. It's kind of black death metal.
Right on.
Saga Heroica, which is heavy metal in Spanish. You will find it interesting, maybe.
Yeah, cool.
Atlat, my former band, they are still playing, and it's all about Aztec culture, the lyrics and all of that.
Yeah.
But it's still black metal. And Vampiric Funeral, which is also like a raw, atmospheric black metal. I hope you enjoy them. And
cool, awesome.
If you want to keep them for your collection, or you want to share with someone, that's
I'll
great.
Have fun.
That's great. And I will show what I got from the store. And if you want to comment something from each one.
Yeah.
First, this is a gift that you have it just for free there.
Yeah. There's the band came through and some American metal, and they just wanted to give it out as promos if anybody wants one. So
have you heard it?
I haven't heard it yet, but I'll definitely add it to the stack here.
Great. A classical Vindir.
Classic album,
The second one that I have in my collection. I began to collect Vindir lately. And I heard that they played yesterday Bright, played 2 songs from Vindir, so
yeah, that's right.
I suppose today they are too. The new album from My Dying Bride, You like it?
It's sick. It's awesome.
I love My Dying Bride. I was very sad. Actually, I was traveling to after Beyond the Gates, thinking about going to Nuclear Assault
Yeah.
at Czechia because
Oh yeah, I've heard that's. I haven't been, but it looks pretty sick.
they were supposed to play there, but they canceled, and well, now I'm going to Finland to Helsinki Metal Festival. And finally, one big thing from the year.
Panopticon, baby.
Panopticon. With, I forget the name, The Rime of the Memory. Such a great album. I have.
He just, Austin came through, and they played an in-store gig here. A couple months ago. And so this was everything he had left over from his tour of Norway, and we bought it.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah, so he's become a
supporting.
Friend of the shop. Yeah.
That reminds me another question. I was going to close, but you usually do these shows on the backyard?
Yeah.
Or?
Yep. Yeah, we have our backyard. It's not open all the time, but we about twice a year we kind of have mini festivals back there. We're going to be turning 50 in a couple of years, so I think that'll be a full week of craziness back there.
It will be a new Beyond the Gates, but
yeah, on a micro scale. You know? And but otherwise we do kind of pop up in-store concerts here. We move the tables and they play right there to the bar, so it's a good time.
That's great. Thank you very much for having us here, for sharing with us more about the culture of metal in here and about the store. And well, thank you for your time. I hope you are not too much tired after today.
A little coffee will do me all right. Yeah.
Thank you, William.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Bueno, señores, antes de terminar, recordarles seguir a la tienda en sus redes sociales, que les voy a dejar aquí en pantalla, y a nosotros también suscribirse, darle me gusta, comentar, todo lo que ya saben para apoyar tanto a la tienda que vende sus discos como al canal. Muchas gracias. Keep rocking, keep metal.